So, so welcome to those of you who have joined our recording as well. And just to let those guys know, if you're joining live, thank you so much. And your faces won't be shown on the recording, but feel free to unmute if you've got questions, or if you can pop it in the chat box as well. And I would actually love to hear in the chat box, I'd love to hear if you're here tonight because you want to learn more about dairy-free, or do you want to learn more about gluten-free, or both? Pop it in the chat box and I'd love to hear. Also keen to know if you guys are new Thermomix owners, or if you've had yours for ages. Pop that in the chat box too. Let's have a look. Gluten-free. We've got one. We've got one person who's commented. Another gluten-free. Okay, bit of both. Any tips for gluten-free? Had my Thermi for nearly a year, says Holly. Okay, gluten and dairy-free, and I want to learn more. Kat's a TM31. Had hers for a long time, yes. Gluten-free and keen to learn more. Gluten, dairy, egg and soy as well. Wow. So Amanda's interested in both, and had hers for 2 years. Excellent. And vegan and celiac. Well, you've all come to the right place tonight. We're going to bring to you a variety of versatile dishes that we've selected we think will be helpful for you in your dairy-free and gluten-free lifestyles. We've got a low FODMAP as well. Excellent. Well, Donna is your lady. She was just giving a wave. She's our low FODMAP expert, and she'll be presenting our first dish, which is gluten-free artisan bread. So after Donna, we're going to be seeing a beautiful coriander pesto from Tiff. And Tiff is also going to share with us some nut butters, which is really useful for our dairy-free friends. And the nut butter and the pesto you can really add to a variety of dishes. So we'll talk more about that. Heidi is going to be showing us a dairy-free milk and a dairy-free bechamel, and some tips there for us and how to make substitutes there. Donna's going to be showing us some high heat cooking as well, and how that can add flavour to your meals. And then I'm going to do some gluten-free pasta dough and a dairy-free pasta sauce. So we'll have a look at that. So we're going to be doing a number of things, lots of tips and hints as we go along, and we hope you enjoy. So let me go. Still people entering. Here we go. So I'm going to move over to Donna. Donna's going to do our gluten-free. Just a sec, I'll remove my spotlight. And there's Donna.
Awesome, thanks Jess. So yes, hi, I'm Donna. I'm based up in the Adelaide Hills, and I will be showing you just how quick and easy it is to make your own gluten-free bread. I'm going to be doing the gluten-free artisan bread this evening. And I'll actually be putting it into a loaf tin. The recipe itself, you normally put it on a baking tray and you mould it to suit. But if you have a look at the tips, which is always a great thing to do with all the cookie-dough recipes, in the tips it shows how to make it as a sandwich loaf, which is perfect for me because I can just chop it and toast it or have it with soup or whatever else. So let's get started. Gluten-free artisan bread. I'll press start cooking. And the first step on this one is almonds. There's 80 grams of almonds in this one. So if you are low FODMAP, you should be okay because it is under the recommended amount. Just watch how many slices. Don't go and eat the whole loaf. We've got just over that. Now we are going to give that a mill for 1 minute. So I know you've just come over to me, but I might get Jess to have a quick chat. We're going to mill that for 1 minute on speed 10. And while we're doing that, I'm going to show you quickly. I have lined a Thermomix shop rose gold loaf tray. They are a lot smaller than your normal bread loaf, but it's the perfect size to make this. And then I've just scrunched up a bit of baking paper and popped it inside. You don't normally need to line these, but I find to get the bread out, I can just lift it straight up and pop it straight on the rack, and then it's clean. I can just chuck it back in the pantry. So we will use that. So I'll start milling this for a minute. I'll mute myself, and maybe Jess can have a quick chat about other gluten-free breads. So we'll be back.
Thanks so much, Donna. That's great. And Donna's made this bread a few times before, and she said it's really easy. It's got normal ingredients, which is great. So I can't wait to try that one. One of my favourite ones is the chia and pepita bread recipe, and it's actually in your basic cookbook. We will be sending out links to all of these recipes that we're doing tonight. But yeah, I'd love to hear if you guys have got a suggestion on what your favourite gluten-free bread is. I know a few of our team really love the keto bread rolls as well, which is another option for gluten-free. Donna is milling. Maybe just wave to me, Donna, when you're done. And I'd love to hear what else people mill, because milling in your Thermomix is a great way to get your gluten-free flours done cheaply. So I think Donna's done.
Yeah, I'm all good. I actually stopped that with 10 seconds to go. You start learning the sounds of the Thermomix when it's grinding, and I could hear for the last 20 seconds it wasn't milling. So I just let that stop. We'll press next, and we want to give that a scrape down. But before we do that, I'm going to show you. So that was almonds a second ago, and that is milled absolutely perfectly. So we'll just give that a quick scrape. It is very fine. And yeah, no lumps in, whoop, right over my kitchen bench. There we go. So you can see just how quick and easy that is. So that was meant to be a minute on speed 10, but I did about 45 seconds. So scrape that down, pop it back in. And then we next want to add 2 teaspoons of dried yeast or 20 grams of fresh yeast. Little tip, keep your instant yeast in the fridge or freezer. It makes it last longer. Mine gets kept in the freezer. We'll pop them in. We then add 400 grams of gluten-free plain flour. Can make your own. There is recipes on Cookie Dough to make your own. Some of them use, or most of them use rice, etc. And I have made them. I've cheated tonight. I've just used a shop bought gluten-free gluten-free plain flour. So we'll pop that in, 400 grams. If you do get a chance to make your own though, definitely do it. Definitely worth it. They just don't have as long a shelf life because there's no additives or preservatives. 60 grams of olive oil. Some of this I haven't pre-measured because olive oil gets messy. So we'll pop that in. And we want 300 grams of sparkling mineral water. Definitely still got some fizz in that one. I'll pour it in. I might actually show you when this is fizzed up, just how bubbly it gets. My kids were fascinated when they watched this. Obviously it's mineral water, so I'll show you quickly. You can see all the bubbles of the yeast and the mineral water all mixing together. And then 2 large eggs. You get them. Crack them in a cup. Always crack them in something separate, because if you put them straight in there and it's a bad egg, then you ruin your whole recipe. So crack them separately. Don't crack it on the side of the bowl. You should tap on that. Crack straight on the bench or on the side of the cup. Or you can put it straight into the measuring cup. I've done that plenty of times. Less dishes. A tablespoon of sugar. A tablespoon of xanthan gum. You should be able to get that in just like your health food aisle at the shops if you struggle to find it. 1.5 teaspoons of gluten-free baking powder. Again, there is Cookie Dough recipes to make your own, so jump on and check them out. And we've got a teaspoon of sea salt. This was just some pink Himalayan rock salt that I just mill in the Thermomix. Then you know what's in it. And we are going to pop the measuring cup on. And we are going to knead that for 5 minutes on speed knead. Remember, when you are using the knead function on the Thermomix, don't walk away from it, because the Thermomix can walk and you don't want it to walk off the bench. that's my little tip. Make sure you stay by it. So we will get this kneading. And that is me done for now. So we will show you a finished product. I have one I made earlier, a little later on. And when you come back to me, I'll pop this in the loaf tin and make something else. See you soon. I think it's over to Tiff now, I believe.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Donna, and thank you for reminding everyone to stay near Thermi when you're kneading. I've just spotted Tiff. I thought she might have lost connection. Tiff, if you're ready now, just pop your screen on. Otherwise, we're going to jump over to Heidi if she's available. Tiff is juggling 2 little boys at the moment. So Heidi, if Heidi is ready, we will go over there. But it looks like Heidi's not ready. Are you ready, Heidi?
I'm almost ready.
Almost ready. No worries. Well,
I thought I had a moment to fix my hair.
I know. It's okay. I can chat about cookie dough for a bit if you want.
Seriously, 20 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. Alrighty. So Donna's is doing a 5-minute knead. That's a fairly long knead for a gluten-free bread. That's really interesting. Can't wait to see what Donna's looks like. I haven't tasted it yet either, so I'm gonna have a go. Next up, Heidi's going to be doing our dairy-free milk. So I'd love to hear in the chat box if anybody's already made dairy-free milk or if you're buying it in cartons. How about giving it a go and making your own, because going to save money and going to save the environment. No packaging, super easy. And I think Heidi's ready to show us. So we're going to do some dairy-free milk now.
Yes. Hello, my name's Heidi. I'll be showing you my favourite cashew milk, which is a milk I found online, perhaps in the recipe community, and I don't know, I played around with it before I was happy with it. Yes, I've been doing a lot of dairy-free milks from the supermarket, and like Jess said, I was just going through packets and packets of this awful packaging, and then I think I discovered that you couldn't even recycle it properly, and I thought, oh God. Then I wanted to try some other milks. There's some beautiful milks on Cookie Dough. There's some almond milks and some rice milks. I've tried most of those and they're really lovely. There is some sieving involved, so you sort of strain it through a nut milk bag, which is fine, but me being a little bit lazy, kept looking for a better milk which didn't require so much straining. So I found this beautiful cashew milk, which is really, really easy to make. All you need to do is just a little bit of organising, soak the cashews for 3 to 6 hours. And yeah, once that's done, it takes less than a couple of minutes. So I'll show you my favourite milk. It's a beautiful creamy milk compared to the milks that you buy in the shops. It just, yeah, doesn't even compare. It's a really, really nice milk. So this milk asks for 1 cup of cashews. They're raw cashews, which I've soaked for about 4 hours today. So we'll just pop those in. I'll put in 1 cup of water, 250 mils, filtered water's preferred. Then we will just give that a whiz through for about 15-20 seconds. So just a moment.
Lovely. So I can see Tia has said she loves cashew milk. And Kim would love to make nut milk, but would like to do oat. Sorry, she's made nut milk, but would like to do oat. And Kat has said she's made oat milk before already. I personally love the rice milk recipe, which is in Cookie Dough. Uses a bit of rice, a bit of almonds. And back over to Heidi.
So far, we've just sort of blended it up into a very, very thin looking, I don't know, cashew paste. But now we'll turn it into a milk. We'll add another 750 mils of filtered water. And if you like to have it a little bit sweeter, not everyone adds a sweetener, but I just like about 40 grams of maple syrup. You could add a little bit of stevia or I suppose rapadura sugar if you wanted to, but maple syrup is just a really delicate, lovely flavour which just dissolves in there beautifully. Then on high speed once again, just for another 10-15 seconds, and I'll be done then.
Awesome. I also love adding a date sometimes. I think that's another option for sweetening our dairy-free milks. You can whack in a medjool date or even a normal dry date to give a bit of sweetness.
So, am I back on?
Yep.
We've got this beautiful looking milk, which is really creamy, and I'll pour out 500 mils because I know that's what we're going to need for our bechamel sauce, which I want to make afterwards. So this is the beautiful creamy cashew milk. Really lovely to drink. If you leave it in the fridge and want to store it, you'll probably need to give it a quick shake up before you go the next time to have a drink from it. It does sort of sediment out a little bit. But yeah, quick shake and you're off and ready to go. So that will be cashew milk. I'll put this aside.
I love how you don't have to strain.
So yeah, I just love that it's a no strain milk. This one, it just really gels with my slightly lazy nature. No, easy nature, I should say. Now, there we go. Now, I use this for my hot chocolates. I use this for my morning brews, my coffee brews in the morning. I haven't actually tried frothing it, to be honest, so I don't know if it froths very well. I don't know about that, but it mixes very well with coffees and hot chocolates and cups of tea. So I will move on to the cookie dough recipe of bechamel sauce. It's a dairy-based one. We'll start from the beginning, maybe. So it's a dairy-free bechamel. I have to confess I haven't officially made this one before, but I was keen to try it. I've done a bit of I've done a lot of dairy-free in my past. I can now tolerate a bit of dairy, so I'm not restricted as I was, and my family do prefer dairy. But anyway, dairy-free bechamel sounds quite lovely. It's got rice milk written in here, but I think my cashew milk will do just fine. It calls for plain flour, but I'm going to substitute with corn flour so we don't have the gluten. I've been told I need to reduce that just a little bit, otherwise it's going to be too thick. So I'll reduce down to about 40-45 grams of corn flour. Then we've got 50 grams of dairy-free spread, which I have actually attempted to make some vegan butter, which is actually a beautiful recipe on cookie dough, which is worthwhile trying. I think, unfortunately, my lecithin granules have been a bit long in the cupboard, so it hasn't thickened up like I would have liked. But for my bechamel sauce, I don't think it will matter. I've had a taste of it. It tastes very nice. It's just too runny for a spreadable margarine type spread. But the vegan butter is a really nice spread if you're looking for an alternative to butters or Nuttalex. All those spreads that you buy in supermarkets are really quite expensive. I used a coconut in my vegan butter. You can use the refined one, then you don't get the coconut flavour if you've got a family that's a bit particular with the coconut taste. That works just fine. But yes, I think you do need the thick one, that one that thickens when it's cool. Otherwise, it's not going to thicken once you've finished the whole dish. But anyway, I'll start on the bechamel sauce. I think apart from that, we've got ground nutmeg, bit of Dijon mustard. I'll just go through quite quickly and I'll see how we go. And maybe I'll be making this again for my family if they're a fan. Okay, let's start. I think it's fairly straightforward. Putting in 500 mils of the milk, which I'm using my cashew milk. So the corn flour, I've got about 45-ish grams, I believe, of that. 43. Hopefully that will be enough. Then my dairy-free spread, which is sadly a little bit on the runny side, as you'll see. Maybe it wasn't in the fridge enough. Maybe it just needed the fridge for a bit longer. I did only sort of make this after lunch today. I'll see what it's like tomorrow. Fingers crossed it might actually firm up. Bit of salt. I'm actually going to add my homemade onion salt, which I made not long ago. And it's got a bit of garlic, a bit of other flavours in there, a bit of seaweed, a bit of iodine. So I'll pop that in there, a bit of extra flavour. Teaspoon of ground nutmeg. I'll pop that one in. Dijon mustard, half a teaspoon. I like mustard, I don't mind putting a bit of extra in there. It always works well for me. And if we wanted a bit of a cheesy flavour, we could put some nutritional flakes in, and I do have some, I believe. So nutritional yeast seasoning, it's quite healthy for you as well. Adds a bit of a cheesy flavour to your dish if you're looking for some cheese substitute. So I might just scatter a bit in there. And I think that will be cooking now at 90 degrees for 7 minutes. So for 7 minutes, I suppose you can pass on to someone else, Jess.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Heidi. Making a beautiful dairy-free bechamel for us. We'll have a look once it's done, and we'll jump back to Donna because she's been waiting patiently with her gluten-free bread.
That's all good. So we finished. All good. We finished the 5-minute kneading on the gluten-free artisan bread. It is quite a wet mixture. Now, I've made this already today, and I've made this a few times. It's a little bit wetter than normal, but I might have added about an extra 10 grams of the mineral water. So make sure you pay attention to the amounts. Obviously, adding an extra liquid, I should have added extra dry, but it'll still work. I'm actually just going to wet my spatula just a tad because it's easier to get the mixture out. But yeah, you can see that it is quite sticky. And a lot of the gluten-free doughs are, so don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. I'm just going to move my camera down a bit so you can see the loaf tin. Now, my problem is I normally do it this way. Yeah, I don't want to see that. There we go. I'll see how much I can get out because I don't want to mess around too much, but you kind of just blob it in. I'll make it as quick as possible. Now, the next step, while I'm doing this, the next step is to use a like a butter knife or a you know, like your cake palette knives, and you wet that, and then you can being in a loaf tin, I'll just smooth the top. If it was on a baking tray, you can mold it into the like typical loaf oval shape. That's what it recommends on cookie dough. You can also get your bread knives, which I do have one here, which I can get out in a sec. And you can do the little fancy crosses across it as well, which I think looks fantastic. It's a very wet dough this evening, of course. Probably doesn't help. I've got my heater on as well, so that's not going to help with how sticky the dough is, but get a little bit more out. What you can do when you've got those last bits is pop the bowl back in and go to your turbo function, and it will splatter some of the dough off, or the rest of the dough off the blades onto the edges, and you'll be surprised just how much extra you can get out. Not just for dough, for your soups and your cookie dough, even you know, your casseroles, etc. Splat it out to the side, and you get quite a lot more. Now, I'm not going to be too pedantic here because you don't want to watch me just get all of this out. So I'll just pop that in there. I have left quite a lot in there, but anyway, normally I'd get a bit more fussy, but not tonight. I'll just show you quickly. So I've just got one of these bread palette knives, and I'm just going to squish it in a little bit more. So you'd normally mold this if it was on a baking tray. And then you pop some oiled cling wrap over the top and pop it into a warm spot for about an hour or until it's nearly double in size. And then you whisk an egg and brush the egg on top and add some sesame seeds. And then it goes into the oven for about 40 to 50 minutes. until it sounds hollow, which is why this is great. I can just pull it out, tap the bottom, and if it's not ready, I'll just slide it back in. So I'll pop that aside. Now, we're in the Adelaide Hills, it's not warm up here. I have actually just boiled the kettle, and I'm going to pop some hot water into a thermo server, and I'm going to pop the loaf tin on top of that. It just helps with the rising time, and it makes it a lot quicker. So I'll pop that over here, and I'll do that in a sec. Let me just go back up. Now you want me to just keep going now, Jess? Move on?
Yeah, you can, yep.
Yeah.
And I wanted to point out, you mentioned the thermo server. I'd love to point out that people could actually earn a thermo server at tonight's class. Now, I believe some people might earn one because they've invited 2 guests. So well done to you. I hope your guests are enjoying our class tonight and seeing the versatility of the Thermomix, and I hope you're learning some tips so far. But yeah, you can grab one of these as a host reward when you have 2 guests join us, and just talk to your consultant to organise that. Your consultant will follow up with your guests afterwards, and look at that. I'll stop talking and hand back to you, Donna.
Yes, I've just popped probably about a quarter of hot water in there. I boiled the kettle a minute ago. Use my kettle. I can use the kettle mode on here, but I was using it. And I'll pop Glad wrap over that in a minute. But just with the warmth, it just helps raise the temperature, and it will help it prove faster. Obviously, many other reasons for the thermo server, for putting your sorbets in, or your free-to-drink ice cream, your soups, your risottos, your stir fries. But right now, it's going to be my bread proving machine. So I'll pop that aside. Now, we are going to make another recipe. So I'll get out of that one for now.
Actually, Donna, I can see Tiff is available.
Easy.
Okay, thank you, Donna. And we'll jump over to Tiff while she is available, because it might only be for a short time because she's got her hands full with gorgeous little boys. Thanks, Tiff.
Hi. Yes, I had one of them wake up, so I had to go for a minute. So I am going to make some coriander pesto tonight, and I've only ever made pesto that has cheese in it, so I'm really interested to see how this pesto goes, because I'm dairy free at the moment while feeding Harry. He can't tolerate dairy or soy, so I'm really interested to see how this pesto tastes. I've made a pizza base for it to go on, so I'm excited to have it for my dinner. So the first step was to add 1 clove of garlic, which I have omitted just because I'm not having it at the moment. And then I've picked a whole bunch of coriander from my garden, so you just need to add 45 grams. It says the stalks and the leaves, so I haven't been too fussy about picking all the stalks out, because 45 grams of just the leaves would be quite expensive if you had to buy it from the shop, and quite a lot of leaves. So that's good that it includes the stalks. It says it's about 1.5 bunches. That's 45. Can't see what I'm doing. Now 50 grams of raw unsalted cashews. 40 grams of sunflower seeds. 10 grams of pepitas. And hopefully this doesn't wake everyone up. We're going to insert your lid and measuring cup and blend it on speed 7 for 5 seconds.
So hopefully that doesn't wake up her sleeping babies. And just we've chosen coriander pesto because that's what's in season. So in summer, feel free to do your basil pesto. And thank you for your awesome tip. Donna will tell us about that tip that you've written in the chat box when she's doing her bread again. When she shows us the end of the bread, I mean.
blended it all up. The seeds and the cashews and the coriander. It says scrape down the sides, but there wasn't really much on the sides, to be honest. And then insert the measuring cup again and blend now on speed 8 for 8 seconds. Just remember to press tear when you take the lid off, because otherwise you won't be able to measure it properly. So 40 grams of lemon juice that I squeezed earlier. A 100 grams of avocado oil. I can grab more if I need to. It's a little bit under. I might just do a sprinkling of salt, not a whole quarter teaspoon. It asks for. I sometimes find recipes too salty or too sugary, so sometimes I just take it down. I didn't get the dulse flakes. They're, I believe, a vegetable salt flake. You can find it at the health food store. Lid on. And it's 10 seconds, speed 4. And your pesto is done. So that looks delicious. I'm going to go put it on my pizza in a minute. And it just says to put it in a sealable container. So just a jar would be fine, and place in the refrigerator until ready to serve. So I can transfer that and put it onto a pizza. The next thing I'm going to make, I don't have to make it right now, Jess, if you don't want me to. Do you want me to talk about it or not?
Let me see, maybe just very briefly, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I was going to make some ABC nut butter with raw almonds, raw Brazil nuts, and raw cashews. And you just blend it in the Thermomix until it becomes a paste, and then you put it in jars, and then it's ready for toast. It's delicious, easy to make.
Awesome. And Tiff, are you going to have make that while you're off screen, and we'll have a look at it at the end?
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. And
I'll show you my pizza as well.
Oh, yay. And did you do a gluten-free pizza, because you're gluten-free at the moment as well?
I'm not gluten-free at the moment, but I did do a gluten-free pizza base. It's mainly a seed-based pizza.
Wow. Wow, we could have snuck that into tonight's class. If anyone would like a personalised, sort of specialised class with your consultant, reach out to your consultant, because we can do personalised sessions with you. Yeah, Tiff, we'll grab that recipe from you and we'll whack it in the email that we send out to all our guests tonight, shall we? Sounds interesting.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you so much for showing us that. And I imagine a little bit of that pesto into Heidi's bechamel would be a beautiful flavour as well. Imagine that. All righty. Thank you so much, Tiff. I will let you go, and we will go back to Heidi. Did you want to show us your bechamel? You're going to do some steaming. Yeah.
Yep. I got some steaming on my trusty TM31 in the back while I was cooking here. So I've steamed my lovely asparagus, and I will now see if we've thickened up nicely, and I do believe we have. a bit hard to see in the Thermomix jug, but it's going to pour on beautifully. It looks amazing. I had a little taste before. It does taste very good. I added a tiny bit more salt. That's perhaps me because I like things a bit salty. You could put a smattering of herbs on top, or the beautiful pesto. You could put a bit of smoky paprika on there. That would taste really good. But yeah, that's perfect for an accompaniment to most meals.
Beautiful. Looks delicious. And I love how you've popped it in the oval thermo server.
Oh.
Yet another host reward. There are other ways to get thermo servers, and I'd love to tell you more about that a bit later on as well. For now, that looks delicious. Please enjoy that.
I think it stays good. You can put it in the fridge as well. You don't have to eat it all at once. You can put it in the fridge and it lasts all right for a couple of days, apparently.
Beautiful. And I'm wondering if you added a little bit of miso paste, you might get your salt flavour you want.
Yes, that's possibly not a bad idea either.
Possibly.
Yeah. Look. Honestly, the possibilities are boundless. All your favourite flavours you can pop in there. I love my Dijon. And in my onion salt, I had a bit of the dulce type flakes, or a seaweed mix, I think it was, which I pulverised. Yeah. So I had a little bit of umami flavour in there as well.
Lovely. Yep, beautiful. And that's the beauty, because the bechamel is done on the 7 minutes, 90 degrees, speed 4. That's our basic thicken mode. And you can whack in any flavours to your liking. Thank you so much, Heidi.
No worries.
We'll see you a bit later on to see if you make some hot chocolate or something with your cashew milk.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. And Donna is going to show us a little bit of high heat cooking.
Okay, there we go. Yes, so as Jess said, I'm going to be using the high heat function on the TM6. The high heat on the TM6 goes to 160 degrees. It's not something that you can do manually by selecting that temperature. You will have to go into a recipe to suit, but there is many recipes and many high heat collections on CookieDoo. What you could do is go in and do one of those recipes. Today we're going to be doing capsicum. I'll talk and keep going at the same time. How's that? There's many ones from all your different meats. You've got your onions and your garlics, capsicum, all different types of vegetables, etc. So you could then saute off what you're going to use and then use that ingredient in your menu cooking in which recipe you're making. What I'm actually going to do, sorry Jess, I'm going to get my other screen. Can you do both screens at once by any chance? Do you know?
I will. Some people's devices, they might not be able to see both, and our recording will only show one, but I will add that spotlight. So you might want to swipe on your device if you can't see both screens at the moment. Thank you, Donna.
You'll be able to see lots of me because it's like my screen with my spotlight with my screen with my spotlight. I just keep seeing it. So this is the TM6 screen up nice and close. I have popped the 2 recipes I was making tonight in my week. So I simply went into my weekly planner and I went into the recipes and added them to my weekly planner. So great if you like being a meal planning person. So we'll pop in the sauteed capsicum. Very quick and easy. We have 2 ingredients, salt and pepper if we need it. And that is it. I love quick and easy recipes. So we'll press start cooking and we simply need to add, I'm going to get my hand in there, 20 grams of olive oil. I hope the screen's clear enough. I did clean it before.
Yep, that's great.
What my Thermomix looks like now while we're doing this compared to what it looks like on a daily basis might be a little bit different, but that's okay. I gave it a nice clean. So 20 grams of olive oil. And then we've got 200 grams of capsicum. I'll hold it up to this one. And that's just sliced into sliced into slices, isn't it? I've got red and green in there. Yellow would look absolutely amazing as well, but just for a little bit of colour, I've done 2. So I'll pop that in. 201, close enough. It's funny, if it's $1.99, I'd have to add more, but 201, I'm okay with. It dropped back down. Now this is the splash guard. that it's asking me to pop on. The splash guard is a new accessory that comes with your TM6, and it sits directly on top of your lid, and the arms will actually lock on and hold that in place, and it's just a safety thing. So your steam can still come out of your Thermomix, but it's going to reduce your oil splatter. It does work differently to your simmering basket. They're not interchangeable. They do similar things, but you have less steam with this one. So we've popped that on top. Hopefully you can see it. It just does come up with the prompt to make sure you put it on. So we press done. And then it says 12 minutes, temperature is max, which is actually 160 for your high heat. And then we've got these little sizzly bacon looking pictures. And I will simply turn the dial, and that's going to start sauteing my capsicum. The smell on the saute is amazing. You'll be able to hear the machine actually stops and starts as well. So it will turn a little bit, and then it will start sauteing, and then it will turn again, and it tests the resistance of the food in there as well. I don't think you'll hear the sizzle just yet. No, nothing yet.
Lovely.
But yeah, that won't take long. It does say 12 minutes. But yeah, have a look at all the different collections and see. Oh, there we go. Can you hear it?
Not sure. Can anyone hear a sizzle? That would be a great reason to book a cooking experience for those that do have a TM31 and TM5, because I noticed some of you do. Book in a cooking experience and you'll be able to hear the sizzle for yourself, the 160 degrees. Thank you so much, Donna. We will keep moving, and we'll see your capsicum later.
Wonderful.
And that's such a versatile recipe as well. We're going to be able to add that capsicum to our pizzas, maybe Tiv's pizza we could add it to, maybe lasagnes, pastas, all kinds of things. And Donna's going to serve hers alongside her bread, which we're going to see at the end as well. So that could be a lovely platter: the pesto, the bread, the capsicums, and that. So right now, I'm going to do the next one, which is pasta dough. And thank you so much, Donna, for doing the close-up screen. That means I don't have to now, so that is great. I've got all of tonight's recipes in my weekly planner, and I've got gluten-free pasta. So I'm going to just hit start cooking. Now, this particular one is an American recipe, and my other Thermi is singing to me over there. It's an American recipe, so the ounces are going to come up for us. And it's asking for cassava flour. Now, I Googled that, and it did say you can interchange it with tapioca flour. So I recommend tapioca or arrowroot flour in bulk. So go to your health food store, your bulk store, get it in bulk. It'll be a lot cheaper than buying in a little canister. So I'm just going to whack that in, and some cornstarch. So making it gluten-free, I always buy this one. Just make sure you don't get the wheat starch one if you're cooking for a celiac or a gluten-free person. Just double check that your corn flour is a gluten-free one. So that's in next. So, and some brown rice flour. So Thermomix is great for gluten-free cooking because you can make your own flours. So this is brown rice. I whizzed it up earlier today, and I used a texture and labelled my little jar. But I whizzed that up for 2 minutes and got beautiful soft brown rice flour. So you're going to be saving a stack of money. There's the flour. I'm going to pop that in. There we go. You can save a stack of money because you can just whiz up whatever you want whenever you want. Now it's asking for guar gum. I have xanthan gum, and again I did a little Google, and that is fine to replace with 1-for-1 pretty much for guar gum into xanthan gum. Sometimes that's what we need to do, a little bit of Googling when we've got gluten-free and dairy-free. And popping some eggs in, 3 eggs. Plonk them in a bit fast and the flour jumped up. Some water, So I'm using the little itty bitty thermo flask. I think I've weighed that, but I'm a bit nervous because you do want to get the water accurate when you're doing breads and doughs, that's for sure. Just going to get my little brush. I think I saw Donna using it too. This one's available from the mix shop. There we go. And I don't have to wet my screen. The eggs made the flour go everywhere. Little bit of olive oil. So there we go. 1 ounce. Oops, 1.1 ounces. And popping our lid on. So that's all in there. And we're just going to knead for 2 minutes. And then we'll come back and that dough will be ready. Let me see. We were going to go over and talk to Donna, but I think you can hear me okay. Hopefully, it's just on the kneading function. I'm going to use my thermomat. So if any of you don't have a thermomat, there's a couple of ways of getting one. One way is to host a cooking session with your consultant. So be sure to touch base with your consultant and let them know that you are on tonight and that you'd like to organise a personalised session for yourself and a couple of your friends. And you could pick up Thermomat pack, which is just $25 when two friends come. If someone starts their Thermomix journey, then you're going to get your Thermomat set for free. And you might notice there's some circles, which is perfect for doing pastries as well. And these can go in the oven. Now, the second way of getting one of these Thermomats or the thermoserver to keep your food piping hot is to join as a consultant, because we have an amazing business kit at the moment. I'm going to show you a bit later on. With the business kit, you also get the beautiful anniversary cookbook for free as well. Business kit is just $125. It's a bargain because you're going to get your thermomat, you're going to get a thermoserver, apron, flip chart, stationery, what else? Carry bag. The carry bag alone is worth $120. So it's about, including the book, $370. It's over $400 worth of value, I believe, because normally it's about $370. So amazing. So that's the other way you can get a starter pack and start your business. And yes, Kelly, you've finally joined. It's so exciting that you're joining as a consultant too. So if anyone is interested to know more, I'm going to show you at the end. For those that like to stay behind, we'll have a look at the business kit and all the goodies inside. Oh, beautiful. So those eggs were from our chickens, and they've made the dough go beautiful and yellow. Such a beautiful colour. And I can see, yep, that's mixed dough. All good. Occasionally I've noticed when I do this one, sometimes the corn flour, some of it's still down the bottom. And if that's the case, just scrape it off and just knead it for another 10 seconds or so. But I think this one's all good for us. I'm going to get this one out. But first, I am going to flour this thermomat with a bit of gluten-free flour. So it's just with my arrowroot. And I highly recommend finding some friends and doing a bulk order if you like, because that way you're going to get some of your bulk items a lot cheaper and you won't be going to the shops all the time. Now I'm going to flour this one a little because this dough is a little bit sticky. So I'm just going to use the spatula and get that out. And how easy was that? And look at the dough. It's a nice thick dough. It's a beautiful colour. It's almost like Play-Doh. There we go. So sticky. And like Donna was saying, you could put your bowl back on and whiz it up high, up on speed 9 is how I do it. for a few seconds, and that will flick off anything off your blades. I do it for dips, cake batters, bicky batters, all kinds of things. But if you need help with making friends with the spatula, be sure to reach out to your consultant and they can give you a closer demonstration or some tips to make that easier for you. So that's as much as I'm going to get out right now. Little tip for those newbies, if you are wanting to jump out of the recipe, just press home on your TM6, then you'll get your manual page, and then you'd flick it up to speed 9 or turbo, whichever way you want to go. You should do it for 1 or 2 seconds, and then you can get some more. Now, plenty of flour. Now tonight I'm not going to do I'm not going to show you the pasta machine. We do have a pasta machine on the mix shop that can shape your pasta into either nice flat pasta or like fettuccine type pasta. So they are available in the mix shop at the moment. I've got a pasta rack I'm going to show you in a sec, but they are unfortunately out of stock, I noticed. So that's flicked some more on the edges and off the blades in the middle. And I may as well do it. Then you just scrape around the edge and get another nice bit of my yellow dough. It's such a beautiful yellow dough with all those eggs. And pop some flour on because it's going to be sticky as well. Sticky. Now what you're going to do if you're going to pop it through a pasta machine, you're going to we'll cut it into 8 pieces, and there we go. So we're just going to use this one that's from the mix shop as well, just in half again. There's flour everywhere, and half again, and we'll have 8 pieces, and then you will simply use more flour and roll it out so that there's flour on each bit. And what I'll do is I'll just roll out one bit so you can see, and I'll roll it out into like a lasagna sheet, which we could use Heidi's beautiful bechamel sauce and this beautiful dough, because look at it. Look how easy it is to work. It's a gluten-free dough and it's just amazing. Use more flour as needed. We'll put a little bit more there, a fair bit. I do go for a fair bit with this gluten-free pasta. And then we're going to roll it out. So I'll just hurry up because I just saw the time. So you can see if you roll your dough, if you pop some flour on your rolling pin, then it's going to roll nicely for you like that. Just roll it out into like a rectangle, and then you'll be able to feed it through the pasta machine. Or for lasagna, I'm not doing this very well. For lasagna, then we can just simply roll it into the shape needed for your lasagna tray. But look at that, perfect gluten-free pasta dough. And I've been rolling this one a little bit thinner and then feeding it through the pasta machine to make spaghetti or fettuccine rather. And what I want to show you next is what it looks like next. So I'm going to flick around over to kitchen number 2 and we'll see the pasta. So you heard my other thermi chiming before. That was this one, heating some water. So I used the boiled pasta recipe in Cookie Dough, and we'll pop that one in the chat as well. Boiled pasta. All it is filling up water, heating it for 10 minutes, which is what I've just done. And I'm going to show you my pasta rack. Unfortunately, this one's out of stock right now, but you could always pop your name on and you could go on the waiting list. And this was the dough. I just made another batch earlier, and I popped it through the pasta machine. It has dried on my rack, and I'm going to put it into the Thermomix. So it's saying add some salt. I'll do that in a moment, and pop our pasta in. So this recipe, this boiled pasta recipe, it's fine. I tested it out on the gluten-free pasta, and you can use it for spirals or spaghetti. Just be careful if you're not using this pasta recipe. Just be careful if you have bought gluten-free pasta. If you're trying to use it in Thermi, if it's like a legume one, Thermi might not be as gentle with it. So you might just have to test that out. Let's pop that in. So this little rack's really handy. I'll just show you another close-up of my fettuccine. Popping that in. And we'll put a little bit more in. There we go. So I've got about 300 grams. And this is a batch I made last week. And I've just let it dry and I've popped it in a container. So that's pretty cool.
So Jess,
yes.
there's just been a question if you have to let it dry or can you use it fresh like you buy at the shops?
You can use it straight away. I just made it earlier today so that and let it dry so that it was easier tonight. But the thing is it'll start to stick together. So if you don't have a pasta rack, just hang it up on anything that you can, the back of the chair, something, so it doesn't stick together. Because if you put it all on a plate, it'll just stick to itself and it will be hard to cook. So I'm just going to pop that on for about, I'll do 6 minutes and set that going. So that's in reverse and that's cooking away for us. And then we're going to go back to the other screen and quickly make a dairy-free sauce for you guys. And I'm just going to clear my floury area. I need 3 workbenches. Just move that over to here. We'll quickly make a really quick sauce. Ooh. And then we're going to go back and see everybody's finished dishes. So this sauce is it's called Kimchi queso dip, and it's really versatile. So I just wanted to show you guys that you can use this one and you can, adapt it as well and make yourself either a dip or a pasta sauce or, something for over your steamed veggies or something like that. Use it with nachos, all kinds of things. And this particular one is asking to soak some cashews. So it asks you to pop a bowl on and weigh in some raw cashews. So you can use your Thermomix as a scale. And I've done that earlier. I've popped some cashews in. That's what it looks like. And they're soaking. And now I'm just going to use the steamer basket to drain those. Because they've soaked for about 3 or 4 hours. Alrighty. So next we're going to use our plant-based milk of choice. This one was almond milk that I made earlier today. And I just strained it through a nut milk bag. So I'm just going to pop that in. There we go. And a bit of nutritional yeast, like what Heidi was using. Nutritional yeast or nutritional flakes. It's got B vitamins, very common for dairy-free people and vegan people. It's about 3 tablespoons and 1 more. So that's what it looks like. I got them in bulk as well, in the bulk store. A bit of paprika, which I've just popped in here with a bit of salt as well, and black pepper. So I popped them all in. So you can flavour this with the flavouring you like. I'm going to pop some tapioca, so that's going to thicken it for us as well. And the cashews are going to thicken this sauce too. It's a really thick sauce. Now, it is asking for kimchi. If you don't want to put kimchi in your sauce, you could omit it.Maybe put the pesto in and make a different flavour. I'm going to add in a bit of kimchi, but not the whole amount because I found it a bit too spicy. So I've just decreased it. Bit of garlic cloves, and then some more flavours it's asking for. Cumin, onion powder, and even chipotle chilies, which I've omitted. Now it's asking for our drained cashews. So this is going to be a nice thick sauce or dip, whichever you prefer. It's going to be nice and thick because of the cashews and that tapioca. And you're getting the cheesy notes from your nutritional flakes as well as those spices. It's just a minute of blending, and then it's just cooking for a couple of minutes and the dip's ready. What I'm going to do is add a bit more water and make it into a pasta sauce. So I'm going to add about 300 mils of water. But you could increase your milk as well if you wanted to. So as you can see, it's very versatile, and we're going to be coming out with some recipe conversion workshops probably next month. So if you're interested in converting and playing around with recipes a bit more and learning how to convert your favourite recipes, stay tuned and reach out to your consultant, let them know you're interested, and we'll let you know when that class is put on. I'm just going to add, just a sec, we'll blend it first and then we'll add the water. We'll do that. So I will let Donna talk for a bit and show us everybody else's things while I blend this and then cook it for 3 minutes.
I was going to show the barbecue pack, Jess.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, while Jess is blending that, we will all jump back to everyone's kitchens in a minute to show all the final results, because you know that's the most important bit. But while that's blending, just very quickly about this month's bundle offer when you purchase your TM6. For only an extra $49 this month, you can get our amazing barbecue bundle. That consists of the barbecue cookbook, which even if you're not a meat eater, there is so many different veggie recipes in here and salads and desserts, which are always the best. But it's a really great cookbook with lots of extra tips in the book that you don't get on Cookie Dough. That itself, books are $50, so the whole pack is $49. You also get a 4-pack of my absolute favourite, hence why Jess has got me talking about them, is the barbecue skewers. You get a 4-pack of these. We use these so often, and all my family now have them. Hi, family. They are reusable, which is great. And all you do is you slide your meat on or your vegetables, or I saw one of the other consultants the other day, she put her fruit on there, which I thought was a great idea, and then grilled that. But yeah, so you can make all your shazliks, etc. And then when it's cooked, you simply just slide the meat off. So very easy to use, and you get a 4-pack of them. They are very large, as you can see. We only normally need 2 when we use them here, and we'll add at least 1 kilo of meat onto those 2 skewers. And the last thing that you get is the Meter Plus, which is a smart connected meat thermometer. This itself is valued at $199. So for only $49, it is an amazing bundle. This you download an app, you pop it into the meat that you are cooking, and you tell the app what you are cooking, how you want it cooked, and it will tell you when it is precisely done, like to perfection. If you wanted it medium rare or well done, the Meter Plus will get you your perfect meat. So a great addition to any house. And if you didn't want it for yourself, why not grab it as a Christmas present coming up? Definitely something that a lot of people would love to unwrap over the tree. So yes, your meter, your barbecue skewers, and your cookbook for $49 when you purchase a Thermomix until the 1st of April. You save $220, $219.95 to be exact. So great bundle at the moment. So have a chat to your consultant if you were interested. That should be Jess's blending time done. I hope.
Yep, beautiful. Thank you so much, Donna, for sharing that wonderful bundle with us.
All my favourites. I love them. I love them all the time. And I don't eat much meat either. I should have said that. So when I can use the Meter Plus, I know that everyone is going to not get sick from eating undercooked meat because nobody wants that. Cooks it perfect. So perfect chicken, perfect steak.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Donna. And I love the barbecue cookbook, even though I'm largely vegetarian. It's a beautiful book. So I highly recommend it. Lots of beautiful things, even for veggies. Now I'm going to show you my pasta, which is cooked. Because it wasn't fully dried, I only cooked it for about, I put it on for about 6 minutes. I'm just going to strain it through the Varoma basket. And it's cooked up beautifully. I'm literally just going to strain that one there. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Yep. I'm just going to twist the bottom to get rid of the pasta that is being cheeky and holding onto the blades. I'll get that once it's cooled down. But that looks amazing. That is gluten-free pasta made fresh today from fairly easy to get ingredients. And that is going to go through my beautiful kimchi sauce that I've just made with the cashews and things. And then that will be ready. Sometimes I even add a bit of broccoli to the pasta as it's cooking in there, or even add it to my kimchi pasta sauce that I'm creating. And then you've got some of the whole veggies in your sauce pasta as well. And I'm going to pop that into thermoserver and top with the sauce. I'd love to go see Tiff and Heidi. We'll go to Heidi first because she's there. And thank you, everybody, for... Oops, are you there, Tiff? Tiff said, while the babies aren't crying, we'll go see Tiff. Sorry, Heidi.
It's all right.
Thank you, Jess. I'll just turn my machine off. It was just cleaning. I have finished both my pesto and my ABC nut butter. That's all that I had left of the pesto after I put a whole heap on my pizza. And there's the ABC nut butter. So like I said, almonds, Brazil nuts and cashews. And it just makes you blend it, scrape the sides down, blend it again at speed 7 and then speed 8. And I'm about to have some of that on toast as well because I can't not. It tasted too good. But this is my delicious pesto pizza I just made. So I've just put some zucchini and sweet potato on top. It's actually got some shredded steamed chicken that I did earlier in the week. Last week I steamed a few chicken breasts in the top of the machine and shredded them and froze the shredded chicken so that I can defrost it and have it on my lunches and dinners. So that's the pesto pizza. It was so easy, Jess, and it didn't wake anyone, neither of them.
Oh, good. And so you've got lots of yummy food ready now, Tiff. Isn't that a great bonus of our cooking class?
I'll just eat all now.
That pizza looks amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tiff. And that nut butter, that's going to be handy for all kinds of things. You could be able to add it to cakes and muffins, smoothies, even probably curries to thicken it up as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I often add the nut butter to my smoothies, and you can just add the nuts to your smoothie, but now adding the nut butter makes it much creamier.
Yeah, beautiful. And could even add it to Heidi's hot chocolate if that's what she's made. Thank you so much, Tiff. We have a question. What's an alternate to dairy-free cheese for pizza? Do you have any suggestions at the moment, Tiff? Or was that pesto enough on your pizza?
The pesto was actually enough. Jess has made quite a few different of the dairy-free cheeses. I haven't attempted them yet, Because the cashews and the salt are in the pesto, it does have quite a cheesy flavour. But the dairy-free cheeses, there's heaps of different recipes on Cookie Dough, and I believe Jess had a few favourites.
Yeah.
And I have one awake child.
Okay, I'll let you go and we will pop
Good
some
night.
cheese recipes. Thank you so much, Tiff.
Thank you.
And thank you to Heidi. Anything else to report back, Heidi?
Oh, I made the hot chocolate. I thought it must be that time of night. So yes, almond milk, hot chocolate, blended up perfectly, 80 degrees. When you've got kettle mode, it's easy to set the right temperature. So yes, I'm going to really enjoy that. Just a tiny bit fluffy on top.
That
Nice little bit of sweetener.
Looks absolutely delicious. Thank you so much again, Heidi, for joining us, and enjoy your beautiful drink.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Wonderful. And Donna, over to you with your capsicum and your bread.
Thank you, Jess. Yes, so my capsicum finished sauteing. It was smelling amazing, and there was so much sizzle on that. So definitely, if you get the chance to host the cooking experience, get together with your friends so you can hear the sizzle, because yeah, it's pretty good. So I'll just show you that quickly. And then my other bread, there was a tip before, rather than sitting on top of your thermo server, the loaf tin fits in the top of the varoma. So I actually have it sitting over there. That will go in the oven in a minute. I'll sprinkle some sesame seeds, but I've got one here to cut up and show you. But here is my capsicum. So you can always cook it a bit longer if you want it extra caramelized, but you can see, I'll try and get a bit, I'm going to put it in the cup in a sec. It has started to go transparent, what I'm looking for, and it smells so good. So pop that in this dish. Might need to pop over to Tiff's house so we can pop some on the pizza. Maybe I can steal some of Jess's pasta since she's just around the corner. Or we can add it to this bread. I just want to show you that is perfectly clean as well. And I've just pulled it out. So a bit of oil, that's all that's in there. So there is my delicious sauteed capsicum with the high heat. Now here is a artesian loaf. I'll get it out in a minute, it's getting late, that I made earlier today, which is right there. I'll give it a quick slice so you can have a look. I haven't cut it yet, so hopefully we're all good.
Looks amazing.
It's got that nice crunch on top. Not that you'd be able to hear it, but I'll just cut an extra slice. Oh, my
imagine that.
Upset because she's just gone to bed and she wanted some before she went to bed. So
Aww.
I know it's just a piece of bread, but there we go. So perfect for making sandwiches. That's why I made it in the loaf rather than popping it as an oval.
Wow.
So
looks amazing and so easy. So that other one is still proving, and you'll pop it in the oven shortly, I imagine.
Yeah. So I've just sat there. Sorry, I walked away. I just sat that in the varoma, as someone mentioned before. I can't remember who it was. Sorry.
I think it was Leone.
It was. That's right. It was Leone. So wrapped in some cling wrap. I'll get that out now. So what I'll do now is cover it in some egg and sprinkle it with some sesame seeds. You don't have to. And then I'll pop that in the oven for 40 to 50 minutes. Now this also, I wanted to point out, because obviously I've now got 2 loaves of gluten-free bread. It freezes perfectly. I freeze it in 2 slices each, so that I can just pop it out and either defrost it for a bit, or I just toast it straight from frozen, and it turns out perfectly. So I'll have lots of freezer ready to go, and I don't need to buy bread for a while.
That is so good. Yeah. And you won't have to make it for a while either. That's good. Even better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Donna. Sorry, I skipped over to me. Do you want me to show you? Did you have something? Here, just a sec.
No, it's
sorry.
It's okay. I just popping it all on the plate. So, you could have some olives or something. We don't have any olives. And yeah, some of the pesto dips, etc. Plate it all up. You could even have some olive oil to dip it in as well, or drizzle it over the top. So that might be my snack. And some dukkha. Yeah, there are some amazing dukkha recipes on Cookie Dough. We've made that before. So very easy. Go and make it.
Oh, you've definitely inspired me. And that bubbly water, that was a surprise going into the bread. And I just wanted to show you, I know we have gone over. We were a bit ambitious with our menu. We wanted to show you so much. This is that gluten-free pasta. I popped a bit of olive oil on, and normally I'd keep the lid on to keep it warm. And the kimchi sauce, or the kimchi dip, it thickens up a lot. So I've added a fair bit of water because it's got the cashews and the tapioca. It actually will thicken up. I'm going to maybe keep a little bit of that one, and we'll give that a stir. But you could add boiled eggs, olives, steamed veggies, or cook the veggies in there as well. But there's your dairy-free. I'm just going to give it a stir with the little teaspoon that I've got here. Dairy-free, gluten-free pasta from scratch. Hopefully that was useful for you guys, and you got a bit of an idea that you can use a recipe and tweak it to your liking. Remember, you can substitute non-dairy milk into most recipes, and same with gluten-free as well. So ask your consultant if you need tips on converting your converting cookie dough recipes to be gluten-free friendly, because we can help you help point you in the right direction as well. But that's it for tonight. Now, if anyone does want to stay behind, I'm going to open up the consultant starter pack and show you what's inside. So thank you everybody for presenting tonight, and thank you everyone for joining us. It's so much fun as usual coming online. And we have another class next week, which some other team leaders are actually popping on, and it's called Spring Clean Eating. That's an advanced skills session. That's on Wednesday night. So we'd love to see you there as well. And just ask your consultant for the link if you don't have it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Donna, Tiff, and Heidi. Lovely. I will, for anyone who is interested to have a little look at the pack, I'm going to twist you around. I was hoping to have my dishes all put away so you didn't have to see them. Alrighty. For anyone who, thanks Carly, thanks for joining. I'm going to pop the lid on there.
Hey Jess, you've still got it on Heidi? And she's saying that
sorry.
Over their hot chocolate, which I
Yes,
think
I'm still here, yes.
Sorry. Thank you.
Oh.
Thanks, Donna.
it's okay. I'm standing here eating bread, so
Yeah.
Yum. Now, I don't know if anyone's staying on with us. We got a few people, so I'll keep going. Like I said before, if you think you would like to join our team and have lots of fun, we would love to welcome you to our branch. So be in touch with your consultant and they can give you further information, and you can get yourself this cookbook for free this month with your starter pack. I'm going to pop that to the side. And this is the box that will arrive at your front doorstep via the post when you get a starter kit for the Thermomix business. So this is great for people that might already have a TM6. You've got your business tool already, and you just need your starter pack, and you're going to get all the goodies. Or it's great for someone who might have a TM31 or a TM5. You want to upgrade. Why not try earning your TM6 or reducing its cost? So great for all different wherever you're at. Now I'm going to move my pasta over a bit. I need a bigger kitchen, I think. I definitely need a bigger kitchen. I'm going to lose my pasta. There we go. Now let's move this over. There we go. I can open it up better here. So there's a beautiful message on the box there that from our founders, Grace and Bianca. And inside you're going to find everything that you need for your business. You're going to have your flip chart, which is a really handy tool. And it's got cheat sheets on the back of each page, so you know what to say. Your team leader will train you as well and have lots of ongoing training and support. You can tap into as needed. There we go. Thermo server. We've talked about them a bit tonight. So a great way of getting yourself another thermo server, because we all need more than one, right? A great way is to get it in your kit. So it's either hosting or get one in your kit. They're the two ways we can get thermo servers usually. And you'll get another thermomat. So if you don't have one, this is a great way of getting one. So this pack is $125. Now you might have noticed I had this, we roll it up. That's how you should store your thermomat. Don't fold it up. You're going to get yourself an apron, which is like the one that we've got on. And that's a beautiful one with these, is it leather? I don't know if it's leather or not. Got these that will come off so that you can pop it in the wash. And it's a really lovely denim type apron. Chambray, is that what they call it? A fancy word. You're going to get yourself an eco bag so everyone will know when you're shopping that you're a Thermomix person. And it's a great thing to take to if you're doing cooking sessions with your friends and family and future customers. You can pop books and different things in there, folders. And speaking of folders, you do get one folder as well as all the stationery that you need in there, and your team leader will go through the contents there with you. If you're planning to do in-person sessions, you can purchase the booster pack, which will get you some more folders. Otherwise, if you're planning just to do virtual cooking sessions, then you're all set to go with that one there. And your carry bag. So if you do want to take your Thermomix and cook over at someone else's house, or you might want to take it with you on a holiday, you can do that with the carry bag. And as I said, these are worth $120, and that will transport your Thermomix safely. So lots of goodies in the pack there. Beautiful big box, and then of course ongoing support from your team and our branch and your team leader. So lots of fun, and as you heard tonight, we all get different things from being a consultant, and you probably notice it's pretty flexible too. Tiff, you know, with two babies, and she still managed to cook up a storm in her Thermomix business tonight. So yeah, and all of us get different things from being involved. But I'd love to hear if there's any questions or any feedback about tonight. Let's see. Got a few
I wanted to add as
still on.
well, Jess, the great
Yes.
thing of being virtual is we get to eat all the food.
I know.
I know it's a good thing, but yeah, we can choose what we want to cook for other people. Obviously, we want to adapt it to what people want to see. But I'm not going to go and make something that I can't eat, so I have. But yeah, so I'm just standing here eating what I've just cooked. How I've just demonstrated a delicious gluten-free loaf, how you can make bread, and it's going to help me and my family simply by you logging on and watching this evening. So thank you.
That's right, and exactly, it's such a good point, and it's so much more flexible having the virtual possibility to run our business, and we can still inspire our customers through the virtual online workshops, and we get to enjoy the food as well. I reckon your bread would go nicely with the nut butter.
It would do. There you go, there's mine.
Oh, beautiful. And you're going to freeze that. That's gorgeous. And those capsicums would go beautifully in a lasagna with my pasta sheets as well. Now, Amy's asked, is that the whole box $125? That's correct, Amy. Plus, just in September, you get the cookbook. So it's worth over $370 usually, I believe. So it must be just over $400 at the moment for $125. That's right.
And you get
Amy,
so much.
who's your consultant, Amy? Does anyone know? Who's your consultant, Amy? Hopefully you are Becky. Awesome. Well, talk to Becky because yeah, she can get you further info from her team leader, and you'll be able to join with Becky. And yeah, it's a wonderful deal. It's the easiest way to get yourself all these goodies and personal development. So yay Amy. Welcome aboard. Now I'm not sure who Becky's team leader is. Maybe she's with Michelle, but Becky's team leader will be in touch with you. But first, let Becky know that you're keen to find out more. Well, thank you, Amy, Letty, Kat, Lynette, Kelly, everyone, and Jenny, who's still on the call, and Karen. I think that is it, ladies. Thank you so much for joining. As I said, I'll send an email out tomorrow with lots of links to the things we were chatting about. Have a great night. I'm going to stop recording.